Hey everyone, Dr. Shahana here. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is what would you put your efforts towards? What would you try to achieve? What would you do if you couldn't tell anyone? We've all met those people before where you're having a conversation and all of a sudden they'll slip in, some achievement that they're working towards or some award they recently won, something that's completely unrelated to the conversation. And you almost kind of go, okay, well, congratulations. And I don't really know how to go to what we were talking about initially. We've all met these types of people before. And I think what's really interesting is that you have to ask yourself, when you are working towards a goal, how much of it are you doing it so that you can tell someone, that you can use it as dinner party conversation, so that you can use it as fodder on Facebook and Instagram? How much of it is related to that? I was talking to someone recently and I said, I have to say, I think part of me even going to medical school, I'll be honest, was probably about the recognition. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that, okay, I felt like I've made it, or my parents feel like I've made it. I would be dishonest if I didn't say that it had to contribute to me going through medical school, at least for a small percentage. Ironically enough, I'll never forget what my dad once told me. And this is when I was in the throes of medical school, probably third year. And he looked at me and he said, he's like, you might tell someone that you're a doctor and they'll look at you and they, might think that you're wonderful and amazing for 5 minutes or even 3 minutes or even 30 seconds. And then they're off doing their own thing. He's like, it has to mean something to you. And I think that's where this whole journey with mental and emotional health and speaking, I couldn't care less if anybody knew I was a speaker, or that I wanted to get on more stages, or that I love so much seeing the audience reactions when I try to weave themes and ideas that have been circling about in my head. I love the art of presenting. I love the creative outlet of trying to tie unrelated ideas together. And I love that feeling when somebody comes up to me at the end and says, I needed to hear that, or you changed my life in this really small way. So unlike being a doctor or an MD where I felt myself always having to justify or tell people, I think maybe you're doing the right thing when you feel like you want to carry and soldier on. I'm not saying it's easy, but this whole journey of being a speaker and an author, I could care less if anybody knew. This one's just for me.